Well, welcome back to Planner Apocalypse. Today I'm going to be reviewing this Studio Note notebook from Nanami Paper. It is an A5 notebook. I know the paper in it is called Zen Paper. It is a thin paper. The owner of Nanami Paper was hoping that the Zen Paper was going to be the, replacement or answer to 𝖘𝖊𝖊𝖓 paper, changing their formula, I guess, but apparently it did not work out so well. It is not fountain pen friendly, so if anyone is wondering about it, he does have a lot of paper testing pictures up on his website, and I'll link that below. But I figured I'm actually going to be using this for my spiritual journal this year, and I would like to test it out, and maybe you want to watch me test it out. So here we are. It comes, in this book sheath box kind of thing. I'm, not going to be keeping that, but it says it's got a 3.5mm grid, which is similar to the 𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖓𝖓 paper design. I think 𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖓 actually uses a 3.7mm grid, but all of the notebooks from Nanami Paper are made in Japan. They do also have 𝖘𝖊𝖊𝖓𝖓 paper notebooks, including the Crossfield, which I recommend. It is made with the new 𝖘𝖊𝖊𝖓𝖓 paper though, so if you're looking for the original, you're out of luck, friends. That's real sad, but it is what it is. So here we go. We've got this nice kind of burgundy cover, which having been in the Crossfield, this is similar to what they use on the Crossfield as well. It's got a linen texture to it. It's really nice. You can see the thread binding on the side. It lays totally flat, which I like very much. And it also comes with blotting paper. Even though it is not fountain pen friendly, we are going to be testing some fountain pens, but even though it is not fountain pen friendly, it does come with blotting paper in case you should need it. I appreciate it because I only have one piece that came with my Crossfield, and now I can use it in my 𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖓𝖓 cousin, hooray! So the fly leaf is here. It's pretty plain. I don't know if you can see that, if that's gonna focus, but these are very small little grids. So 3.5mm. Let me get my, hang on folks. All right, looking at the 𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖓𝖓 cousin, I mean, it looks close, Anywho, I don't know if you will really know, well, maybe you will notice. If you have larger handwriting, you might need to, take up 2 rows of this, but you might notice the smaller grid. I don't know. My handwriting can be pretty small if I want it to be. But yeah, the paper feels really nice. It is thin. It kind of feels like 𝖙𝖎𝖎𝖓𝖓 paper, more so than like 𝖘𝖊𝖊𝖓𝖓 paper. It feels similar to the new 𝖘𝖊𝖊𝖓𝖓 paper. I don't know how to describe papers correctly. I haven't been trained to talk about these things, so I don't know if there's special terms that I should know, but to me, the original 𝖘𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓 paper feels a little denser, a little silkier in its heaviness, in its weightiness, and I feel like the new 𝖘𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓 paper, and that's not in this notebook, so we're not comparing to this, but the new 𝖘𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓 paper to me feels crispier, and this is just an 𝖒𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓𝖓. It almost feels drier, the new 𝖘𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓𝖓 paper, and that's what I'm picking up here. If we're talking about dryness, the 𝖙𝖎𝖓𝖓𝖓 paper feels drier than the new 𝖘𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓𝖓 paper, and I think this feels similar to the new 𝖘𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓𝖓 paper, but I would say it's in between 𝖙𝖎𝖓𝖓 and the new TRP. 𝖘𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓 paper. I'm just gonna say TRP, okay? So there are 432 pages in this book, which is nice. If you were gonna use a page a day for journaling or something, you can fit a whole year in here, which is nice. For me personally, I'm going to be using this as my spiritual journal, as I said, so having space to write every day is going to be important for me. So we are going to just do a pen test. I do have, holy moly, I do have a few what are these called? Fountain pens that I'm going to test. He said that dip pens are going to be a huge no-no. I'm going to see exactly what I can get away with here. I do a lot of coloring and stamping, I guess, so that's something that I'm going to be looking into. I'm just getting my stamping supplies. I do have fine liners. There's a fine liner. All right, I think that's a good start. So first we're gonna write pen test on the page, and then we will see if that bleeds through. So that was the 𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓 dual tip pen. So it's got, you know, a bullet medium point and then a fine point on the other end. Did it bleed? It did not. Obviously, when dealing with paper that is similar to 𝖘𝖊𝖊𝖓𝖓 paper, you're gonna get ghosting or shadowing. So if that bothers you, you're not gonna like this notebook. However, if that doesn't bother you, then keep watching and let's see how this goes. So I'm gonna use this Tombow dual brush marker. I usually make, you know, headlines and then outline. This is a Pit Artist pen by Faber-Castell. This is the fine, that is drying out. Oh, all right, so I have some like sensory stuff. This is drying out. I'm writing on this paper that feels kind of dry. I just got chills down my spine. I do not like that at all. That felt very yucky. But as you can see, there is no bleeding, so that's nice. Let's continue. We've got ballpoint, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. We got a gel pen. This is just the refill, but I wanted the fat point gel pen. And we've got gel pen. And this is an Erin Condren highlighter. I forgot what they call these, but you've got the fine point in black over here, and you've got the highlighter in a color over here. There we've got some feathering just because the highlighter didn't dry and I wrote over it with the black point there. You've got some feathering a little bit. I think that's just from the ink and not the paper. This is a Tombow dual-ended brush pen. So we've got black over here, we've got gray over here. Ignore my hand lettering, okay? We're gonna do some mild liners, and we're also going to be doing some dot pens because I use those a lot. I will most likely not use them in this journal, but in case anybody else out there is, you know, wondering about how they perform on this paper, I will do a service for you. I don't know why I'm using all these, but all right, so this is the 𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖓𝖙 clean color dot pen. This is in the color denim, which is like a navy blue. Yeah, got some juicy things there. As you can see, oh, is it dry? It's dry. Great, so that's nice. Things are drying pretty quickly, all right, I think it's dry. So the dot pens are bleeding. I'm going to use the pastel dot pens in case anybody has these. I find that these are juicier, and it literally might be because they're newer than the other ones. I think, I got these in 2020, and I just got these last year in 2022, so they still juicy. But we've got some lead through, yeah. So I wouldn't use dot pens on this paper. So we've got, this is a 𝖙𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖓𝖓 inked with Noodler's American Aristocracy ink. It smells kind of weird. And it's got an extra fine point. And then we have, this is a 𝖙𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖓𝖓 inked with Diatramentus Archive ink in black. This is also an extra fine point. It's very scratchy. I kind of like it. And then, oh, I should, note that this is also an extra fine point. This is a Kaweco collection pen with a fine point. This is a 𝖙𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖓𝖓, which is my favorite fountain pen, in case you can't tell. I have two of them. I love the design of the VAC 700R that I have because it's, you know, it's got the rainbow titanium and it's, you know, clear and stuff like that, but it is a little bit weightier and heavier. This is a lot lighter. My hands tend to like cramp and tire quickly. So if I'm writing a lot, I have to write with this cap off if I'm writing with this. Look at that. Look at that nib. Rainbow nib. Hell yes. Anyway, this is the 𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖏 in just clear. It's got a medium nib. So we'll see how that goes. It's inked with 𝖭𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖊𝖓 ink. This actually has a lot of sheen to it, or color, like color switching. I'm not like well versed in the fountain pen terminology, so I apologize. But it's got like dual shading. I think that's what it's called. Okay, so now that those are done, we will see what happened. Okay, so the Noodler's ink bled right through. The 𝖬𝖎𝖓𝖏𝖓𝖙 ink actually did not. I don't know whether that is the ink or because it's an extra fine nib, but also the 𝖬𝖎𝖓𝖓 ink in the medium nib didn't bleed through either. So that's great. So I would say maybe Noodler's is not going to work, but you can see a little bit of the dual shading in the 𝖬𝖎𝖓𝖓, which is nice. But I'm sure, you know, anyone who is like actually very into fountain pens and inks and stuff, they're gonna be not happy with this. And because this is not as fountain pen friendly as the owner, I think his name is David, but I cannot remember. It's not as friendly as he was hoping. He's discounted the notebooks to like $18, which is honestly a steal if you ask me. So if you don't have fountain pens, if that's not your jam, I'm actually going to be using a ballpoint pen for my spiritual journal because I like to like highlight things because I do a lot of tarot readings, so I don't need to worry about that. One thing I do want to test is stamps. So I've got these tarot stamps here. I've got this VersaFine pigment ink here. It is in black. I'm just going to pick a card, any card, and I'm going to stamp it. And I think I need something under here to help me out. Then I will use this 𝖭𝖓𝖓𝖓𝖏 chalk ink in Midnight Black to see if there's any difference. This one is slightly older, this one is newer. I have a couple more stamp pads that I'm going to be testing in case anybody has different kinds of stamp pads. I don't have a lot, so I can't give you, you know, every single kind that's out there. I can do what I can do. I have this water-based stamp pad from Stampin' Up. This is quite old, so I don't really know what people have available, so this is what I got to test out. Do I clean my stamps? No, I do not. I just kind of rub off the ink on my chair because it's also black and it, you know, I don't really care. And, you know, different colors might bleed differently. I'm not really sure. And then we've got this Tim Holtz Distress ink in Faded Jeans. The brand is Ranger, in case anybody else has any Ranger brand stamp pads. Okay. So let's see. All right, so the Tim Holtz and also the VersaFine bled through. The chalk ink is fine, which that gives me my answer of what I'm using in this journal. And the Stampin' Up one is also fine. I got stuff on my fingies. So yeah, it's, oh, look at that. Look at that. It's still so wet. Where's my blotting paper? Get in there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not really sure what else people would want to know, but I'm pleased with it. I'm excited to get into it and get my stuff in it. You know what I mean? That's all I got for you. If you have any questions, if I forgot to say or do anything, let me know and I can maybe say or do that thing in the comments. And thanks for watching. If you feel like subscribing, go ahead. It's pretty laid back community here and very supportive. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Okay, bye.